It's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another episode of The Foolish Show, Friday Night Lights. Coming to you live once again. Y'all know how we get down, man. We give it to you real. We talk about real life stuff that affects everybody. We don't just get on here and gossip. We talk about real life stuff. Everything that's going on in the day-to-day world, in the day-to-day life. But it's Friday night on The Foolish Show podcast. We're going to have a great podcast tonight, man. All good vibes. Y'all know I be trying to feed your mind, body, and soul. This is where you come get your soul food. Because we talk about real life stuff. So y'all make sure y'all always check in. The live chat is always open as long as we on air. So leave your comments. Feel free to speak your mind. Just keep it positive. Because we don't spread nothing but positive vibes on here. Let me make sure we got everything live streaming. And we're going to get this party started. Getting ready for another weekend. Hope y'all staying safe and blessed. Don't take life for granted. Enjoy life every day. But live life one day at a time. Tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. So let me go ahead and get everything right. And we're going to get this party started. Y'all make sure y'all check in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Reality Music Entertainment, if you ain't already subscribed. Friday night on the Foolish Show podcast. We're going to have a great time tonight. We're going to give everybody a little time to check in. Make sure everything live streaming. Because we live streaming right now on Kick, Facebook, and YouTube. Tonight's topic, what's the best way to save money? What is the best way you can save money? Gaming Gorilla says, yo, the best way you can save money is you got to cut back. You got to cut back on something. Starts with your spending habits. You can't be spending more than what you're making. You understand? You got to all add up. If you're pushing more money out than you bring it in, then you're going to never get to where you're trying to go. So it's all about you got to cut back if you're trying to save. If you got a goal or something you're trying to reach. Mikael Ball says, what's up? Michael Ball. Mikael, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Mikael Ball is one of them. But how do you save money? What's the best way to save money? You got to cut back. You know, a lot of us, we don't got lazy. So we like to Grubhub, DoorDash. All that stuff go to adding up. You'll be spending $80 to $90 a day just on food, just on something that's going to go in your stomach and come out at the end of the day. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? So the best way you can save money is you got to cut back on something. And it starts with your spending habits. Certain things that you might be spoiled with and used to, you might not can't have it right then and there. Instead of eating steak every day, sometimes you might have to eat a hamburger. Sometimes you might have to go to McDonald's. You can't go sit down and eat every night if you know that's a goal you're trying to reach. Now, if you got it like that, hey, knock yourself out. You only got one life to live. Live your life how you want. But just make sure you be smart. Because not being smart will lead to somebody's downfall. That's how you lose it all. That's how you go under. If you're trying to put on a show for everybody ain't going to suffer with you. So only you know if you got it or not. If you're trying to keep up with the Joneses is living their life. Whatever their finances is, whatever their bank account is theirs. Everybody's life and bank account ain't the same. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? Live life to the fullest. I see we got another troll. So let me get spam out of here. Y'all know we don't do spam. We throw it in the trash. What's the best way to save money? You got to cut back on something. Ladies, you got to cut back on all that hair. You got to cut back on getting your nails and all that done. If it's a certain amount of money you're trying to save. It's just certain things you got to go without. See, we have wants, but you got to worry about the needs. Focus on the needs. A lot of people want things, but do you need it? And the things that we want, it be the things that'll take us under. Because we just want it just to want it. It be extra treats. It's like icing on the cake. So tonight's topic, if you just tuning in, what's the best way to save money? You got to cut back. You start from right there. You got to cut back on something. Whether it's the money that you're spending every day on food, door dashing, whether it's partying, popping bottles, you spending $200, $300, $400, $500 a night, strip clubs. You got to start cutting back. Especially if you know you ain't have it like you used to have it. Or you're trying to get to where you're going. If you got a goal that you're trying to reach, then there's certain things you're just going to have to go without. And it might not last forever. You might can go get all that stuff that you want. But it might take a little time. If you want a house, you might not be able to get it overnight. But maybe a year or so, you can get you your house. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? It all starts with cutting back on what you're spending. That's how it goes. Then you'll be able to save. That's the best way to save money. It's cutting back on how much money you're dishing out. You start stacking. You always keep you a stash for a rainy day. Because you never know what's going to come up. You never know when you're going to need it. Something could go wrong with your car. But if you got a stash, you'll be able to take care of that. Somebody might have hacked your account. And something going on with your bank account. But if you got you a stash, you can always go to that. So always try to put something up for a rainy day. But it's not easy saving money. That's something that you got to want to do. If you want to be able to stack your bread, then you got to have discipline. Some things you just going to have to go without. You're going to have to sit home some nights and not go party. You have to learn how to eat a hamburger instead of steak. The sacrifices has to be made when you're trying to save money. When you got a goal that you're trying to reach, you got to have discipline to get where you're trying to go. You can do it. It's just all on you staying disciplined. You telling yourself, this week I'm not spending $500. This week I'm not paying $200 on food. This week I'm not letting Uber take all my money. There's certain ways that you got to cut back and let your money stack up. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? So the best way to save money is you got to cut back. That's first. Then when you get you something, put you something to the side. But we know things always come up. And a lot of times we end up having to go in that stash. Because things always happen that you don't even have planned. Diana says, hi. How you doing? Appreciate y'all checking in. Hit that thumbs up button. We live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Kick. But tonight's topic, what's the best way to save money? First thing is you got to know how to manage and maintain your money, not waste it. Let your money start stacking up. Then you let your money make more money. Then you try to double your profit. You just keep grinding and grinding and grinding till you get to where you're trying to go. It's all about flipping. You keep flipping your money you're making, you're going to go in the negative. You're going to go in the red because you're not making enough to what you're putting out. You're spending more than you bring it in. Because a lot of us, we try to keep up with the image. We got to have that new car. We got to have that new iPhone. We got to pop bottles in the club. But most of us don't even have it like that. But it's your life. But if you want to be able to stack your paper, then you got to make good decisions. You got to be disciplined. Certain things you're going to have to cut back on. You're going to have to miss some of them parties. You're going to have to not go to them restaurants every night. You're going to have to not go to them stores every weekend. You're going to have to not buy all the wigs, ladies. You might not can't get your hair done every week. It's certain things that we have to cut back on if you're trying to save. You got to have discipline to do that. A lot of us, we don't. We get our money and do whatever with it and end up broke and we looking crazy. We don't even know where it went at. We just ran through it like water. So when you come up, make sure you put something up. And you start letting your money make money. The goal is you making money in your sleep. That's when you know you're doing something right. You want to have generational wealth, where even if you ain't here no more, your kinfolks still going to be able to eat. That's generational wealth. Now, we could be hood rich and go tear the club up, but that's not generational wealth. But the only way you'll be able to save on your money is you got to cut back on certain things. Your spending habits, you got to cut back on. Certain things that you used to buy, you might not can't buy right now. Certain things that you used to having, you might have to go without for a little while until you get to where you're trying to go. That don't mean it's going to be forever. But you want to get your bank account to a certain level where you can get what you want. You can do what you want. You can provide the way you want to provide. You can give your kids what they want. But that's not easy. All that takes hard work and dedication and hustle and grind and stacking your paper. Getting it up to a certain level. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Saving your money. Cutting back. That's the way you come up. That's the way you get to where you're trying to go in the right way. Where you don't have to worry about borrowing from nobody or begging every time you go under. You got to maintain your way of living. You want to stay afloat. You don't want to drown. You don't want to go under, but at least stay afloat. If you're not jet skiing, at least stay afloat so you don't drown. So you'll be able to make ends meet. And it's all on you to live your life how you want and what makes you happy. Everybody don't want no big house. Everybody don't care if they have a new car. And they're happy. So if they're happy, God bless them. It's their life. They got a right to live it how they want to. Nobody can tell nobody what should make you happy. Only you know inside what really makes you happy. So if certain things makes you happy and you want it and you work hard for it, then enjoy yourself. But understand, all this is temporary because we're not going to be here forever. We're not going to be here forever, folks. So all the material things are temporary until it's our judgment day. So how much does it really matter anyway? What do we have? What we wearing? Where are we living? If at the end of the day, the Bible says our flesh will return to the earth in dust. So we just nothing basically but dust that's going to eventually crumble. So our heart and our soul tells the whole story. That what tells you as a person what kind of heart and soul you have. So what makes you happy, only you can decide that. But certain things take sacrifices. If you want certain things, you got to sacrifice for it. If you really want that house, you got to sacrifice for it. If you really want that new car, you got to work hard for it. You might have to do overtime. You might have to pick up another job. You might have to pick up another side hustle. But that will show how much you really want it. Do you really want it? Or you just saying you want it? But you don't want to put in the work to see everything pay off. Life is more than talk. If you talk about it, you got to be about it. You got to be able to be willing to sacrifice and put in that hard work to get what you want. And if that means you got to cut back on certain things, then so be it. There's certain things you can't go without. You'll be okay, ladies, if you don't get your hair done every week. You will live. Fellas, you will live if you don't go to the strip club every week. You'll be okay. You'll live. If it's not your time to go, it'll be all right. But you got to sacrifice. For whatever you want in life, period, you're going to have to sacrifice something. Your time, your energy, your family. All the rich and famous people, they don't spend all day, every day with their family. They got to maintain their lifestyle. So they're going to be gone on the road, traveling all the time. It's sacrifices that has to be made to wherever you're trying to go. That road will never be easy. It's going to take hard work. But it'll pay off at the end of the day. When you see the results and you accomplish what you're trying to achieve, then you'll see your results. When you receive all your blessings for your hard work and dedication. So the best way you can save money is to cut back on your expenses and what you dishing out. What you spending. How much you spending every month, every week. Add it all up. And see if that's going to stop you from trying to get where you're trying to go. You might be spending too much where you can't save. Every time you got something, you spend it. You got to be willing to sacrifice. Save and stack your cheese. Certain things you can go without. You can miss it. You can miss them clubs. You ain't got to DoorDash every night. You can go get you a hamburger. Sometimes you got to adjust and change your lifestyle to get where you're trying to go. Then when you get where you at, you live how you want to live. You eat how you want to eat. You move how you want to move. Once you reach a certain status, once you done put in that hard work, you enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's how life works. You get what you put in. If you don't want to put in nothing, then why should you expect anything? If you ain't willing to work hard and sacrifice for what you want. Nothing in life comes easy. It all takes dedication, hard work, determination. You got to be focused. You can't let nothing stand in your way. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? What's the best way to save money? You got to cut back. Cut back on all your spending habits. Cut back on how much money you dishing out every day. Add up your expenses and see what you making. Is it the same? Or is you spending way more than what you make? Look at your lifestyle. Look how you living. You got to make some adjustments if you really want to save. Because if you keep spending, and you ain't got it, you're never going to come up. You're going to always keep yourself in the red, in the negative. Got to be smart, folks. As the old folks say, sometimes you got to live beyond your means. Stay in your lane. If you ain't got it like that right now, then so be it. You keep grinding till you have it like that. You'll get certain things once you put in that hard work. Once you put in that, once you get your hands dirty, you'll feel great at the end of the day. Hard work and dedication will take you a long way. Because a lot of times life just don't work easy. Things just don't fall out the sky. $1 million just ain't gonna fall in your arms if you walk out the door right now. Don't work like that. But if you go out there and make something shake and come up with a big plan, you can have millions of dollars in your hand if you put in that work. Everything takes work. I know we want it easy, but life don't work like that. You got to put in hard work if you're trying to save. You got to always keep you a stash. Put something up for a rainy day. You never know what's going to come up. Make sure you ain't spending more than what you're making. Live within your means. Only get what's necessary. If you're trying to come up, certain things you can go without. You ain't got to have it. Not right now. Put that to the side and stack your bread up. See, that's something that you got to want to do. That takes determination, hard work, sacrifice. I ain't spending $90 to $100 today. I'm not going to blow all my money in the club this week. I'm not going out to eat every night. It's certain discipline that you got to hold yourself to if you're really trying to save and stack your bread. Everything takes sacrifice in life. Wherever you're trying to get to, you got to put in hard work. It ain't going to be easy. I will not get on here and tell you that lie and say, man, life is a piece of cake. You can just walk out the door and get what you want. No. But I can promise you this. If you work hard and you go after what you want and you give it your all, good things will happen. I can tell you that. But I can't tell you life is easy. Because life is hard. There's a lot of people struggling right now. A lot of people don't have $1. We'll be mad because we can't eat a certain food. Other people struggling to eat food, period. That's a whole different struggle. That's a whole nother situation. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? Sharia Thornton checking in. Miss Pink Rose says facts. If y'all just checking in, tonight's topic is how do you save your money? You got to cut back. You got to cut back on certain things. You got to live within your means. Certain things you're going to have to go without for a little while. If you know you ain't got it right then and there, don't worry about it. Maybe today, you don't have to do that. You don't have to spend them $80 tonight. You don't have to do it every week. But there's certain sacrifices we have to make if you're trying to save your money, save your bread, and come up. Miss Pink Rose says, I definitely need to cut back. It's all on you. You know how much money you have, how much money you make, or what's your monthly income. So it's up to you to stay in that lane. If you try to keep up with the Joneses and you overspend, you're going to end up in the red. You're going to end up in the negative. All your accounts going to be overdraft. Now you got to pay more fees. You got to be smart and sacrifice something. Maybe this week, I can't go to the club. Maybe for a whole 2-3 months, I got to sit down. I ain't spending that money. I ain't going shopping. I got enough clothes and shoes. I ain't going to go. You got to tell yourself, I'm not going this weekend. I'm going to stay home. Everything takes dedication. You got to want it. You got to want to save by staying disciplined. Living within your means. Only getting the things that's necessary, like food. Making sure the rent and the mortgage paid. Making sure you got water, electricity. The necessities, make sure all that's on point. Everything else, that's just extra. You popping bottles, that's extra. You wearing Louis and Fitty and all this, that's extra. You being iced out, that's extra. When you grind and save and you get that extra money, then you can do all those extra things. But first, you got to focus on the main thing. Focus on what you're making. Are you making enough? Or is it adding up to what you spend? That's how a lot of us go in the red and go in the negative. Because we try to keep up with the Joneses and you want to be flashy, but you ain't got it like that. Ain't nothing wrong with not having it like that, because most people on this earth don't have it like that. It's more people that's struggling than that's balling. Trust me. It's millions of people around the world that's struggling. Everybody's not balling and just doing whatever they want to do. So ain't nothing wrong with struggling. We all struggle. A lot of us came and was born in the struggle. You watch your mama and your daddy them struggle. You see grandma them struggle. Ain't nothing wrong with struggling. But if you want more, then you got to sacrifice and put in hard work. Then you'll get rewarded. When you put in that grind, then you'll see the benefits. But you got to be able to cut back on certain things. If you're trying to come up and stack your bread, you got to make some sacrifices. You can't be spending $100 a day all the time, Uber Eats and DoorDash and buying liquor and everything else. You might not can't get high for a couple of months. You might have to put that weed money up. We might have to even cut back on your habits. All that money adds up. So if you think about it, if you start cutting some of that stuff back, you'll start seeing more money in your money. You'll see more money in your money going in your bank account. You'll have more money in your pockets. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? So tonight's topic, what's the best way to save money? You got to cut back. You got to watch your spending habits. How much are you spending? Is it adding up to what you got and what you make? If not, you got to cut back. You ain't got to go shopping every week. You don't have to go in the club and buy $200 bottles every other day, every other night. Ladies, you don't have to get them $200-$300 wigs every other week. You can go a couple of months or two. It ain't gonna kill you. But it takes sacrifice to get where you're trying to go. Because a lot of times we all overspend trying to put on for people. You want everybody to feel like you got it, especially in the social media area. Everybody's flexing on social media. Ain't nobody struggling if you watch social media. But if you go and catch them people in their real life, a lot of them barely make it. So it's all a front. But would you rather front or would you rather really have it? I'd rather really have it. I'm not going to front like I'm a millionaire, and I ain't. I'd rather have it than to fake it. They say fake it till you make it, though. Whatever floats your boat. It's your life. But the thing is, you got to live within your means. If you ain't got it like that right now. Don't overspend and go in the negative trying to impress everybody else. Trying to live a certain lifestyle that you can't afford. If you can't afford it right then and there, it's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nikki B says, hand purple, blue piece. Just understand, folks. Everybody ain't got it. A lot of people are struggling. So if you're struggling, ain't nothing wrong with that. You're not by yourself. But if you want to come up, then it's going to take sacrifice and hard work. I will not sit here and tell you it's going to be easy. Ain't nothing in this world easy. But if you put in hard work, you will see it pay off. You'll start having more than what you had before. You'll start coming up like you never came up before. You'll start seeing more money in your pockets because you start watching what you were spending. You cut back on certain things, and now that $80, that $100, that $150, that $60, that $77, all that done started to add up. You're saving that now. A lot of times we overspend, knowing that we ain't got it. Knowing you shouldn't be buying that, but you can't fight that temptation. We got to do it. We got to tap. We got to swipe that card. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's hard to fight that urge when you see something you want. You be like, man, I'm gonna get this boy. It's like it's calling your name. Sometimes you gotta learn to walk away. And just because you ain't getting it right then, don't mean you can't get it later. You might not can't get that car right now. But who's to say you can't get it in a couple of months? Who's to say you can't get it within a year? We just talking about right then and there. You got to walk away at that moment. You got to stay disciplined at that moment and say, no, I ain't going to do it. I ain't finna tap my card. I ain't going to spend it today. I'm going to walk away. If you want to save your money, you got to learn how to walk away. You got to learn how to fight that urge. I know you're sitting at home, you don't want to move. I'm tired. I want some crab. I want a seafood boil. You gonna spend $120, $150 Uber eating? And that could have been $150 in your pocket. Think about it. Now all that food, all them crabs gone, all the shells cracked. And that 140, 150, 130, 120, whatever you paid to Uber Eats, you can't get it back. Gone. Imagine if you start doing it every day. It start to add up. You start feeling it in your pockets. If you ain't got it like that. If you got it like that, hey, knock yourself out. It's your money, it's your life. But if you're trying to come up and you don't have it like that, then you got to fight the urge. Stay disciplined. It's going to take sacrifice to get what you want. Everything in life, you're going to have to sacrifice at one point in time. When you get kids, there's a lot of stuff you're going to have to sacrifice for your kids. When you get a job, there's certain things you're going to have to sacrifice for your job. When you get a wife and a husband, there's certain things you're going to have to sacrifice for your wife and your husband. They all understand what I'm telling you. But hard work and sacrifice goes a long way. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve as long as you work hard for it. My mama always told me you can get anything you want as long as you work for it. And that stuck with me all my life. So I understand that everything just ain't gonna fall in my lap. I don't look for handouts. I know I gotta make a way. Wherever that way is, I have to find a way to eat and survive. Maintain. Stand on my feet like a man. And that's what it's all about. The old folks used to always tell me, boy, you ain't grown until you're paying your own bills. So a lot of folks think they grown, but they ain't paying no bills. They can't even maintain. You can't even take care of yourself. How you gonna take care of kids or somebody else when you barely taking care of yourself? The old folks said, you ain't grown until you're paying your own bills. Hope y'all listening. But everything takes hard work. Sacrifice. You got to be willing to sacrifice something. It ain't going to be easy. But you got to sacrifice something. If you're trying to save and stack your bread, and it's a certain goal you're trying to reach, then you have to stay disciplined and not spend how you used to spend. Certain things you're going to have to cut back on. If you really don't need it like that, you might want it, but you don't need it. See, there's a difference between wants and needs. Certain things we want it. Yeah, we want a new necklace. Yeah, you want a new car. But you got a good car and it's running. But you want another one because how it look. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting something. But you got to go work for it. If you want that new car and if you're not making enough money, then that means you have to up your hustle. You have to either pick up another hustle, another job, work overtime, whatever sacrifice you're going to have to make for you to go get that car. That's how it goes. Ain't nobody just going to knock on your door and say, hey, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, sir, I got a new car for you. Here's your keys. God bless you. That's only on TV. And maybe a movie. But it ain't real life. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? If you're trying to get something, you got to stay disciplined. It takes hard work and dedication to get what you want. If y'all just tuning in, tonight's topic is what's the best way to save money? You got to cut back. You got to cut back on your expenses, the money you dishing out. If it's not adding up to what you're bringing in. If you got it, then go ahead and do whatever you want with it. It's your money. But if you know you ain't got it, as the old folks say, live within your means. Only worry about the things that's necessary, like electricity, your water, your mortgage, your rent, car note, insurance. Kids got what they need. All that other stuff is extra. If you can't go to the club, you'll be all right. If you can't go shopping this week, you'll be all right. If you can't go blow $200 a night in the strip club, you'll be okay. You're going to have to sacrifice something. And that's period in life. Even when the people get rich and famous, they sacrifice the time with their family and everything else. They can't be there all the time. They barely even see their family because they have to keep their lifestyle up. So they got to travel to keep that money coming in. They don't really even get to enjoy what they have. Them people have all them houses and cars. They ain't got enough time to even get in it. They ain't even have enough time to enjoy it. Because they got to make enough to maintain it. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? So everything in life, you're going to have to sacrifice. It ain't going to be easy. So if you know you're trying to get a house, a new car, whatever you're trying to get, you might be trying to get a certain pair of shoes that cost $200-$300. And you might have to put $50 up every other week. You come up with you a plan to how you can save to get what you're trying to get. But if you keep spending what you don't have, all you're going to do is put yourself in the red, in the negative. Because you know we try to keep up with the Joneses. We ain't got it, but we going to pretend like we got it. And that's how you end up going under. Then you have to start begging people. Then you got to look for somebody to throw you something. It's all about being able to maintain your life. You got to stay afloat. Make sure you don't go under and drown. Be able to eat every day. Have somewhere to sleep. Being able to bathe and wash your body. Focus on the stuff that's necessary. Everything else is just extra. Some things you can go without. Ladies, you ain't got to get your nails done every other week. You ain't got to get your hair done every week. You might can go a month. But within that month, you'll be saving money. So certain things that we want, but inside, you know you don't need it. Ain't like you're going to drop dead if you don't get a new hairdo. It ain't like they're going to lock you up and take you to jail if you walk outside and you ain't got a new wig on. You'll be all right. But you're going to have to sacrifice something. It's all part of life, especially if you want something. If you want something, it ain't going to be easy. What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? What is your plan to get to your destination? How are you going to get there? In what way are you going to get there? If you want to save $2,000 this month, then what's your way of getting to that $2,000? Chuck says, yo, what's up? Chuck, I see you. What you willing to sacrifice this month to save them $2,000? Are you going to sit down every weekend and you ain't going to go party? Are you going to make sure you ain't spending $100 a day just on food and DoorDash? Are you going to stop yourself for buying them 2 new pairs of J's for right now? If you're just tuning in, the topic is what's the best way to save money? And you got to cut back. That sums it up. You got to cut back what you spending. Because if you ain't got it like that, you're going to start going in the red. You're going to go into the negative. You got to know what you're bringing in to not go over what you're putting out. Live within your means. Worry about the stuff that's necessary. All that other stuff we try to keep up with our neighbors and the people in this world. If you ain't got it like that, cool. Go get what you can afford. Go get what you can maintain. If you can't get a house right now, get your apartment, get your condo, get your studio, get your roof over your head. If you can't get you a 2025 truck right now, get you a 2020. Get you a 2019. Live within your means until you get to a point where you got it and you can get whatever you want. You always got to crawl before you walk, folks. We don't come out the womb just running. You start crawling, then you got to learn how to walk. So you got to take baby steps. You might have to eat at McDonald's before you get to eat at Ruth Chris. You might have to get them McNuggets before you get that steak. Everything takes hard work and sacrifice. What you willing to sacrifice to get where you're trying to go or whatever you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to save and save money to whatever you're trying to save it for, then it's up to you to stay disciplined and stack your bread. Certain things you're just going to have to cut back on. Or you're going to have to step your hustle up. You might have to get a couple of hustles. You might have to get another job. You might have to work some extra hours. Get that time and a half on that paycheck. Whatever you got to do to get what you want. And you grinding and you doing it the right way. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to take sacrifice and hard work. Whatever you're trying to get in life, you got to sacrifice something. When you get kids, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot for your kids. You hear mamas and daddies saying all the time how much they sacrifice for their child or their children. When you get out of a job, you might have a certain title that's going to have to take sacrifices. You might not can't be home like you want to. If you're a truck driver on the road, you might not can't enjoy the house like you want to. You're on the road trying to make the bread. Everything comes with sacrifice. So if you're trying to stack your cheese and you're trying to get it to a certain level, then you have to cut back and sacrifice some things. You won't have to go without it. And you'll be okay. You will live if it ain't your time to go. If it ain't your time, you will live. You'll be okay. If you can't eat steak right now, you'll be all right. If you can't get that new car off the lot right now, you'll be okay. If you can't go shopping and buy all this bling bling and all the name brand, stack your bread up till you get to a point where you can do whatever you want to do. Get to a point where it don't matter. You can say, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, because you know you don't save and you don't stack. It ain't no pressure. Now you just go pick out whatever you want because you don't work hard and save your bread. Can't nobody tell you how to spend your money that you don't work hard and sacrifice for. Nobody can tell you what to do. They might have an opinion. They might say, girl, don't do that. Man, you don't need to be doing that. But at the end of the day, that's your money. That's your blood, sweat, and tears. you don't put in to make it. But if you ain't got it like that right now, then you're going to have to sacrifice till you get to that point. Some things you're going to have to go without. You might not can't be spending $100 a day on that food. You might not can't be going shopping every Saturday. You might not can't be popping bottles every other night in somebody's club. Ladies, you might not be able to get Barbie doll up every week. You're going to have to go natural for a little while. But stack your bread up till you get it to a point where you can always do what you want. Because you know you got enough to maintain. When don't overspend trying to keep up with people, or try to keep up with your neighbor, or try to keep up with these people on the internet. Their money is their money. Your money is your money. You try to go get that new car, you can't afford it, and they come snatching the report, that's on you. It ain't on IG. It ain't on X. It ain't on TikTok. It's on you. So don't be trying to compete and keep up with people. Stay in your lane. Live within your means. Whatever you can afford, it's what you can afford. That's the way you save money and stack your bread. By staying disciplined. Being able to walk away and say, no, I don't need that right now. I don't have to spend this right now. I could, but I ain't. I'd rather save it. Then you start watching your money stack up. Within 6 months to a year, you'll be surprised how much money you really can save. It's 12 months in a year. Imagine if you put $100 up every week for 12 months. You do the math. Think about it. Everything takes sacrifice. So if you're trying to save your money, or you got a goal you're trying to reach, then you have to sacrifice something to get where you're trying to go. Some things you just can't have it right now. Certain stuff that you're used to, you have to learn to go without it. Especially if it's not a life or death type thing. As long as you got a roof over your head, electricity, food in your stomach, then you'll be okay. The other stuff is just extra. The other stuff is just icing on the cake. It's not the whole cake, folks. When we start realizing that, we'll make better decisions with our money. So if you're trying to save, then be smart in what you're spending. Make sure it adds up to your bank account. Make sure you got enough to do what you're trying to do. Man, we live streaming right now on Kick, Facebook, and YouTube. This is the Foolish Show podcast. Catch me every other night live streaming. Subscribe to my channel, Reality Music Entertainment on YouTube. Make sure if you want some of our official merchandise, we have hats, t-shirts, hoodies, socks, you name it, we got it. Go to teespring.com/reality creator. Place your orders. We got 30% off right now on all apparel. But tonight we were talking about what's the best way to save your money. And you got to cut back on certain things. You got to cut back on what you've been spending. Cut back on your habits. Certain things you can go without. You might not want to, but you'll be all right. Save your money till you get to a point where you're trying to get what you're trying to achieve. Then you can do whatever you want to do. Get your bread up, and you can play all you want. But you got to put in the work first. It ain't play first. It's work first. Then you play later. Put that work in and get to the point where you need to be. Then you can play all you want. Everything in life takes sacrifice. If you want that new house, you will have to sacrifice for it. If you want that new car, you have to put in extra work. You're going to have to put in extra hours. If you want to go on that trip and you want to save up for it, you got to do what you got to do to make it happen. Whatever you're trying to get, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can get it as long as you work hard for it. Nothing can stop you but you. If you don't want it enough, then you ain't going to grind hard enough to get it. But if you want it real bad, you'll go get it. If you got that determination to say, I will have that house next year, you're going to sacrifice and do whatever you can to get yourself in that house. If you want it bad enough, you'll sacrifice for it. If you want it bad enough. But everything in life takes sacrifice, hard work. If you're trying to save your money and save your bread, then you better start cutting back. Appreciate y'all, man. Have a great night.